Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something that honestly causes a lot of stress for homeowners, that feeling of moisture, maybe even mold, hiding right under your house. We got a listener question pointing us to some great info, mostly from Pacific Blue Mechanical and Plumbing. It's all about crawl space drainage.
That's right. And our job today really is to break down why keeping that space under your house dry is so important. Especially, and this is key, in a place like Yaletown, Vancouver.
Okay.
We're digging into what Pacific Blue Mechanical and Plumbing found, looking at why this drainage stuff really matters there.
So before we get into the specifics of Yaletown, maybe just quickly, what is crawl space drainage, like in simple terms?
Yeah, good question. Think of it like a dedicated water management system just for the bottom of your house. The folks at Pacific Blue describe it as, well, essential.
Okay.
It's usually a mix of things: pipes, some gravel laid out just right, things called French drains, and often a sump pump too. The whole point is to catch any extra water before it causes trouble and just, channel it safely away from the house, keep the foundation safe.
Okay, so Yaletown. You mentioned it's kind of unique. It's urban, right? Densely built.
Yeah.
Does the information from Pacific Blue suggest that just putting in any old drainage system is, well, kind of pointless if you don't consider the exact location?
That's exactly the takeaway here. Location, right? It really matters. Pacific Blue Mechanical and Plumbing's info highlights that Yaletown has this double whammy. First, really wet winters, lots of rain.
We know Vancouver winters.
Exactly. And second, the ground itself. It's got a lot of clay in the soil. And clay, well, it doesn't drain well. It just holds onto water.
Like a big sponge under the city.
Pretty much. Right next to your foundation. And then you add in the fact it's near False Creek.
Oh, right. So higher flood risk, maybe?
Precisely.
Yeah.
That specific mix, the wet weather, the clay soil, the closeness to the water means standard off-the-shelf solutions. They just won't cut it. Pacific Blue actually mentioned a case, I think it was a property on Hamilton Street. They needed a totally custom French drain setup and a really strong sump pump just to handle the water trying to get in every day.
Wow, okay. So if the clay soil and the rain are the bad guys, and this custom drainage is the hero, what's the immediate payoff? If I get this system installed, what good stuff happens right away?
Well, according to Pacific Blue, you're basically stopping the yuck, as they put it.
Stopping the yuck, I like that. So mold.
Yeah, first big one. Stops mold growth almost immediately. When you get rid of the standing water, the dampness, mold just doesn't have a place to grow. So the air inside your house gets cleaner, healthier to breathe. That's huge.
Okay, healthier air, that's a big one. What else?
It protects the house itself, the structure, keeps the foundation strong.
How does water hurt the foundation?
Well, that trapped water pushes against the concrete. It's called hydrostatic pressure. Over time, that pressure can cause cracks, shifting, serious damage.
Okay, that sounds expensive.
It is. And another thing, especially in a dense place like Yaletown, pests, bugs, rodents, they love damp, dark places. A dry crawl space, not so inviting.
Right, keeps the critters out. And I guess it just makes the house feel better, less damp.
Definitely. More comfortable overall, less clammy feeling,
Makes sense. Okay, so health, structure, pests, comfort. Check. But let's talk money, because these systems, you said, they cost something to install. Pacific Blue mentioned, what, $2,000 to $10,000 maybe?
Yeah, that's the typical range they cited for a proper installation. But here's where thinking long-term really pays off.
How so?
The experts at Pacific Blue Mechanical and Plumbing did the math. That initial cost, it saves you way more down the line. Think about not having to pay for major mold removal, or fixing foundation cracks, or replacing rotten wooden supports under the house.
Oof, yeah.
Those kinds of repairs. Pacific Blue notes they easily run into the tens of thousands of dollars, so spending a few thousand now avoids a potential disaster later.
So it's like insurance against really big house-wrecking problems.
Exactly, a really good way to put it. And there's actually another financial bonus, one people don't always think about, energy efficiency. Your heating and cooling system, the HVAC, it has to work way harder if it's dealing with damp, humid air coming up from the crawl space.
Right, because damp air feels colder in winter and stickier in summer.
Precisely. Drying out that crawl space means your HVAC doesn't have to fight that extra moisture. Pacific Blue suggests this can actually lower your heating and cooling bills, maybe by 10, even 15%.
Wow, okay, that adds up month after month.
It really does.
So, looking at all this, pulling together what Pacific Blue Mechanical and Plumbing shared, it really paints a clear picture. A dry crawl space isn't just nice to have, it's like the actual foundation of a healthy home.
Right.
And a valuable one, too, especially if you're in a tricky spot like Yaletown.
Absolutely. Which leads to a really important question for you, the listener, especially if you own your home. These systems, Pacific Blue says they last maybe 10 years, maybe up to 30. So are you thinking about that kind of long-term protection for what's probably your biggest investment?
It's a powerful thought. Maybe the best way to stop those huge nightmare house problems is just managing the water you don't even see underneath it all.